Hi guys, welcome to Hoops Junction. Today we're talking about the addition to Kyle Korver and if it makes the Cleveland Cavaliers the favorites to win NBA title. Now, the addition of Kyle Korver makes Cleveland a much better team in terms of shooting. So shooting-wise, they're a much better team. Does it make them the favorites to win the title this year? No. And for those who do not know basketball and think that the Kyle Korver addition was not a big deal, it's a huge deal. Because the Cleveland Cavaliers just added, I believe, a fifth shooter. They have J.R. Smith, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Shannon Fry, and now they add Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver, out of all of those shooters, is the best shooter, pure shooter, catch and shoot. He's the best shooter. He shoots 49% on open shots, which means he's going to spread the floor. He's going to get a lot of open shots that he never got before. So, but does this make the Cleveland Cavaliers the favorites to win the title? No, it just makes them that much. It makes it that much easier for them to cruise through the Eastern Conference. You know what JR is gonna do. You know what Kyrie's gonna give you. Now you got that X factor coming off the bench. Maybe they have a starting lineup with Kyle Korver, and you know they have all shooters on the floor. They have Love, LeBron at the 4, Love at the center, JR, Kyrie, and Korver. Something to that effect. So you never know what kind of lineup they could mix up. So it's just basically going to open the floor and space everything out. It's going to be awesome to watch Cleveland incorporate another weapon. Eventually, as chops, it's going to be good to see all those threes going in if you're a Cleveland fan. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to take away from any Cleveland fans. You've been down a long time. Now it's time to be up. Enjoy yourselves. That being said, it does not make them favorites to win the title because Cleveland, offensively, they're ranked 4th. Defensively, they're ranked 10th. So they're top 10 offense, top 10 defense. If you have the Golden State Warriors are ranked 1st in offense, and they're ranked, I believe they're ranked 2nd in defense. So right then and there, Golden State is top 10 offense, top 10 defense. 1st in steals, 1st in blocks, they're 1st in assists, they're 1st in points. So the Golden State Warriors are just that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people have been making a lot of fuss because Golden State has blown a couple of leads. But that's the thing. For Golden State, in order for Golden State to lose, they have to beat themselves. You're not going to beat them. They're going to beat themselves if they lose. Last year's NBA Finals, where they had a 3-1 lead and then Draymond Green loses his head, they get a couple injuries, they beat themselves. I mean, LeBron and Kyrie had a huge part to play in it, but if Golden State has a typical Golden State game where they play great basketball, they win the title. And they were 1 game away from it. Even with the addition of Kyle Korver, another great shooter, it doesn't change the odds for Cleveland in terms of if they have to go against Golden State. They had shooters last year and they were still down 3-1. In the short run, it's going to make a huge difference. In the long run, I'm not sure if this addition is going to make the hugest difference due to the simple fact that Kyle Korver is not a great defender, so you can't hide him out there. Like, you're not going to be able to have Kyle Korver and Kevin Love on the floor if they're not producing. Like, if they're not producing offensively out of the game immediately, due to the simple fact that the Warriors are going to put them in pick and roll, they're going to put them in those little backdoor back cut situations, and it's going to be hell for them because they're not essentially that great at moving their feet, and that's going to be a problem because Cavaliers, they want to make the game a slow game. You know, they're not a team that gets a lot of assists, and they've downsized. You know, they got rid of Mozgov, they got rid of Delhi and everything like that. So they're playing small ball now. Took the Golden State Warriors formula and flipped it and put it in the East, and it's working for them now. But you know, they're ranked 22nd in total rebounding, and they're not really that high on blocks. So they're a small team as well. It's a jump shooting team against another jump shooting team if they get to the finals. And who has the best jump shooters that could create their own shots? The Golden State Warriors. Kevin Durant's a better jump shooter than LeBron James. Stephen Curry is a better jump shooter than Kyrie Irving. Klay Thompson is a better jump shooter than J.R. Smith. And only edge you got jump shooter is probably Kevin Love, who's a better shooter. But you know, Kyle Korver, if he has to go against length and great defense, like I told you, Golden State Warriors are ranked 2nd on defense. So if he has to go against that kind of defense, that's going to be a problem. He's not the person that gets his own shot off. Now, people are going to say, well, LeBron's going to create for you. You only could rely on LeBron to create for you so much. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to get some of your own shots, make some of your own plays at times, which happened in the finals with J.R. Smith. He made some big plays, especially Game 7, that third quarter. I think he hit like 2 or 3 threes that kept them in the game, kept them close. So at the end of the day, Kyle Korver is a short-term solution for a long-term problem. Because Cavaliers' main bread and butter for them to win the NBA Finals is always going to go back to 2 guys. It's always going to go back to LeBron James. It's always going to go back to Kyrie Irving. LeBron James to keep the team in the game, keep the team engaged, run the offense, and Kyrie Irving to close out the game. Now, this NBA Finals, are we going to see a great performance from LeBron James again? Some people automatically say yes, but you can't predict that. You can't predict what happens with injuries, with time. You're not facing the same Golden State Warriors team. This is a different team. They've lost to you like 4 straight times, so there's going to be some kind of edge. There's going to be some edge to it in the finals. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to go in there and do my thing like I did the last couple finals. It's not going to be like that. You actually have 2 defenders and Kevin Durant and Draymond Green who could actually play some good defense and move their feet. It's not, the Cavs are not facing the same Golden State Warriors team. They're facing a team that has players that can move their feet way more now. So only liability on defense is really Curry, because Clay could defend, Durant could defend, Draymond Green could defend. So they have a bunch of defenders now. And Iguodala can defend. So barring injury, this is going to be a completely different ball game. So it's going to come back down to Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. And it's more so Kyrie Irving. They're going to need Kyrie Irving to have those monumentous games where he's scoring 30, 40 points, and he needs to be more of a playmaker for his teammates. But it's going to come back down to those guys. Kyle Korver is going to be a factor in terms of spacing the floor, but defensive-wise, he's not going to be a great factor. Shooting-wise, spreading the floor, excellent. LeBron James and Kyrie Irving are going to play great, but how do we make the game a lot easier for them so they can inspire the other teammates? Because they're going to go up against a great defense. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't understand how good defensively the Golden State Warriors are. When you look at the numbers, first in blocks, first in steals, I mean, that right there has to tell you their defense is solid. Even though they're giving up like a lot of points to teams, they have solid defense. And if they have to face you in a series with a great defense, like they said, defense and rebounding is what wins championships, which Charles Barkley was saying. But the funny thing is, the Cleveland Cavaliers are ranked 22nd in rebounding. Golden State Warriors are ranked 14th. If it's coming down to defense and rebounding, and Golden State has the length and they have the rebounding, because Cleveland has downsized tremendously. Like that's weird. Like a lot of people are like, well, jump shooting teams don't win championships, but Golden State Warriors won the championship shooting jumpers. Cleveland Cavaliers won the championship shooting jumpers. And this year it's back to that, but there's another factor in there. You're adding Durant factor, and now we're adding Kyle Korver factor. So how big of a does Kyle Korver make them favorites to win the NBA title? No. Make them favorites in the East? Yes. Does he increase their chances for them to win the title? Yes. But he can't handle Durant. He can't handle Klay Thompson. He's a guy that can get open shots and knock them down. That's it. He can't handle anybody. Like a lot of people will say, well, you know, Steve Kerr, John Paxson, they play with Jordan, they got open shots. A lot of people don't understand. Those guys were defenders. They were like hard-nosed, getting in people's faces, you know, taking charges, stuff like that. Kyle Korver is not that guy. He has 2 left feet when it comes to defense. But we're going to see this is a huge acquisition for Cleveland. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's only coming back to 2 guys, LeBron and Kyrie. Are they going to get that motor? Are they going to have the motor to go? Are they going to get easy shots? Are they going to get it going early? Because if they struggle in the finals, it's a wrap. And you saw it last year. LeBron had a couple of games in the first 3 or 4 games when the Warriors were up 3-1. He had a couple of games where he was quiet. The game 4 where Curry had 39, he was quiet that game. He had like 22. Go down 3-1 to this Golden State Warriors team. Even though this team has been losing, blowing leads or whatever, they cannot afford to go down 3-1 to any team. Any team. Like, this is a different Cavs team. Their defense isn't as solid as it was last year. And their rebounding isn't as great as it was last year. So they're a jump shooting team, just like Golden State is a jump shooting team. And they actually shoot more threes than Golden State. So this is going to be interesting. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction, where Hoops meets Hoopla. Peace.